Hi, my name is Monique Ruffin, and I wanted to take some time to be with you all today. It's been a while since I've made a video. I've been busy all summer. I was spending time with my 5-year-old who was home for the summer, and so that's pretty much what I was doing. But I also was able to complete my book, which you can find at Amazon ebooks or iBooks. The title is Open Your American Heart: From Personal Responsibility to Collective Accountability. It is a book for citizens who are curious about how they can, in their everyday lives, support our nation becoming a better nation by being better citizens. And it is a spiritual journey for American citizens. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. Today I wanted to talk about a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine, a male friend of mine who has 2 children by 2 different mothers, 2 different women, and he has quite a bit of baby mama drama happening in his life. And I know a little bit about this just because I have a son and his father and I are now divorced, and so I understand the propensity to move in to war after a devastating breakup has occurred or a betrayal has occurred, hurt feelings, disappointments, sadness, and as women we take this stance where we move into war with the fathers of our children. And so I wanted to talk to women today, women who are mothers and who are separated from the fathers of their children. And I wanted to say that I believe that it is our responsibility to be the bearers of peace in these relationships. And what I found in my relationship with my ex-husband and my son's father was that it was my opportunity to decide what I wanted for myself, what I wanted for my child, and what I wanted for the relationship overall, all 3 of us. And when I decided that it was up to me to go about taking the actions towards bringing forth the harmony and the peace that was necessary in order for my desire to be fulfilled. And so what that meant ultimately was that I took responsibility for the war that was going on between us. And how I did that was that I stopped blaming my son's father for the experiences that we were having. I stopped making him responsible for every argument, every disappointment, all the hurt feelings that I was having, and all of the projections that I was placing upon him. I started taking responsibility for the relationship as it existed. So if we had a conversation and it was a painful one, or I left the conversation with hurt feelings, I took responsibility for my hurt feelings. I didn't make it his responsibility for what he said. I made it my responsibility for how I heard it and how I translated it and how I perceived it. And when I realized that I was making myself be the victim in our experience, I decided that it was me taking on this perspective of being a victim that was really hindering our progression towards love and family and community for ourselves and for our son. So once I decided that I wasn't going to be the victim, that I was going to be empowered, that I was going to stand for love no matter what, and that I was not going to return fire for fire, things began to shift. But this didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight that these changes started to occur. I had to really dig in, and in the moment, in the experience, I had to take responsibility for what was going on within me, my anger, my rage, my disappointment, my feelings of betrayal, my sadness. And as I did that, I had to recruit people. I had to recruit my dearest friends and ask them to hold me accountable. And I would say to them, you know, this is my ultimate desire. My ultimate desire is that we are a family, not in a love relationship together, but as a community around our child, so that we could bring in our new partners, so that we can be together, all of us together with our child, and our child really feel loved and seen and held in the company of his parents together. I didn't want my son to grow up being in one house feeling like I can't talk about what mommy said because daddy's going to be upset. I can't talk about what I experienced with daddy and his new girlfriend because mommy's going to be upset. I didn't want my son to grow up with a fractured psyche, not being able to be his full self in every environment. So I realized that I was going to have to make some choices that meant there would be times when I would have to swallow my pride. There would be times when I would have to shut the hell up and not open my mouth and not fight back. There would be times when I would have to really decide, was it worth battling? Was it worth being right? Or was peace more important to me? And what I do know as a woman, that I have the ability to bring forth a spirit of peace and harmony. Not saying that men don't have that ability, but it is sometimes more the nature of a man to move into a warrior stance, to really bring fire. And women, we can do that better than men can, but we also can recognize when it's time to bring peace. And so in every opportunity, every chance, every encounter that I had with my son's father, I had to ask myself, what do I want to ignite here? Do I want to ignite more peace and more harmony, or do I want to ignite war? And when I realized that the war was ultimately not just harming me and my ex-husband, it was harming me and my child and my ex-husband, there was another opportunity that became available to me. And that was the opportunity for me to grow the fuck up. And so I had to begin to heal all the wounds that I had carried with me for years, for decades. Wounds that I had experienced with my father. Wounds that I had seen, that I had encountered and taken on from my mother. I had to really ask myself, am I capable and ready to be a grown-up? After about a couple of years, my ex-husband started to come around. He started to realize that, oh, she's not fighting me anymore. She actually is waging a season of peace, that I was doing my part to create love and harmony between us. And once he started to see that this was a sincere effort, he started to meet me halfway. And today, it has now been about 4 years since we split. In March, it'll be 4 years. And we are having the most profound season of harmony and love and connection. Just a couple of weeks ago, my date, his date, and all of our children went to a African American festival together and just had a wonderful, peaceful time. It wasn't like we're best friends, but it was a good enough time to know that we are on the road to a deep recovery. And what I believe, and I stand by this, is that we as women are the bearers of this peace. I'm not saying that men aren't capable of this. I'm not saying that they can't do it. What I do believe, from what I have seen in my life with my father and my uncles and men that I have grown up with in community, is that men are natural warriors. Men are natural warriors. They can easily pull out their swords without thinking and take people down. But women, we have the capacity, when we are aware of our hearts, to tap into a sense and an experience of compassion that opens up a new path, a path from war and a path to peace. And so I am encouraging all of us who are babies' mamas, for lack of a better word. I don't really love that term, but you get it. For all of us who are the mothers of children and the ex-wives, lovers, partners of men, to begin to hold ourselves accountable and responsible, to stop blaming the men in our lives for the hurts that we experience in those relationships, to start asking ourselves, what did I do to contribute to the dismantling of this relationship? What did I do to contribute to the hurt and harm and sadness of this relationship? How did I participate in this experience? And now, what can I do to heal it? Take responsibility. Be the first person to extend an open arm. And if the man in your life doesn't react right away, don't make it about him at all. Make it about your willingness to learn and grow past who you've been in the past who you've seen your mother be, your aunties be, past the thing in you that says, I have to fight to preserve myself. I have to fight in order to protect myself or protect my child, because fighting is not the only way. What I have discovered is that there is a reservoir of love inside of me, and I believe inside of all of us, that is undeniable. And when we listen to it, we discover that we are indestructible, that there is no hurt or harm that any human being can bring to us, not the parent, not the father of our children, not our fathers, not our mothers, that there is nothing that anyone can do to us to break the spirit of love within us, because it is who we're made of. It is the way the Creator manifested us to be this eternal loving force. And if we are willing to cultivate that, to recognize it, to listen to it, we will discover something inside of ourselves that is greater than ourselves, that allows us to love in the face of the most heinous acts. I have seen it in my own life. I have seen it in the lives of other women, and I know that we are capable. And so today I just want to send this message out to all the babies, mamas, and the parents of children who are struggling and fighting over money, fighting over child support, fighting over time with children, to say that that's not what you're fighting about at all. And you might not even know what you're fighting about. You think it's about something somebody did to you, but really we created these experiences together, and as women we can begin the healing process. And so I just wanted to say that today. I hope this touches somebody's heart, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be here, and I give thanks to the Almighty Presence that allows me the awareness and the consciousness to move beyond myself, my small self, and into a greater experience of love. And I pray that for each and every person within the sound of my voice. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.